can get funky with the best. We're just hyping it up. You know just how it had to be. Just take a look around, boy. Can't you see eyes of them rushing? Girls are just blushing. With rocks and scratch. While her for percussion. Setting the stage for the stage to get set on. I bust a rhyme and the dance is just gentle. So get off because you bit off more than you can chew. No, I said dynamic duo do. Well, it's a go-go thing. Come on, rock and swing. You gotta roll with Kid and play. Now everybody sing.
If you are of a certain age, this takes you back. Don't hurt yourself. I know you're moving. I can see you moving right now in your house, in your office, in your car. Don't shake it, but don't break it. Don't hurt yourself. I am delighted to have in this hour two brothers I've known for years and have not seen them face to face in quite some time. But what a great honor to be in conversation in this hour. It's a house party, and there is a house party reboot coming to theaters in January 13th, I believe, produced by LeBron James and his partner Maverick Carter, starring actors Tosin Cole and Jacob Lattimore. But we have the originals. Kid and Play, Christopher Reed and Christopher Martin, which always cracks me up that they came together and both named Christopher, which is just hilarious to me. But Christopher Reed, Christopher Martin join us right now for a conversation about the legacy of their work, specifically as it relates to House Party. Christopher Martin, how are you today, sir?
Doing pretty good, sir. My hat's off to you, to my partner, the KID, and your staff and crew, and especially your listeners. So, how y'all doing?
We are doing well, Play. It's good to have you on. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. We got Play for the first 30 minutes. Kid and I will hang out for the whole hour. And speaking of Christopher Reed, how are you, sir?
Yes, sir. It is I. I am he.
I'm glad to see you. So you actually, so Kid is actually in studio.
Yes, I'm here.
So we're live streaming. So if you want to see Kid and yours truly, just go to our app and hit the KBLA TV button, tap on that, or go to our YouTube channel. So he and I are hanging out in studio, and Play joins us on the phone. But we're going to have a great conversation for the hour. Let me ask you. Does it feel like, I'll start with you, Kid, does it feel like how long it's actually been?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. Like, just listen to the song, to Roll 'em a Kid and Play. Like, you flash back. I remember those days. I remember having a job in a bank, hating it. And when the supervisor would go to the other side of the room, I whip out this notebook. I was writing rhymes, and for our first record, I was like, I got to get the hell up out of here, man.
Yeah.
And by the same token, I don't know. It's pretty amazing if you think about it.
Yeah.
As Play likes to put it, we weren't put together. We grew up together.
Yeah.
So everything was really kind of organic, and we dreamed a lot of things, but I don't think we dreamed we'd still be relevant in some capacity more than 30 years later. So, it's wild and it's humbling, but I'll take it.
So Play, what do you make of that? I said to somebody the other day in conversation that I'm actually getting sick of the word iconic. I may find something else to use in my own language, because everybody wants to call everything iconic, and it's not. Iconic by definition is that you did something that changed the game. What you did fundamentally changed the way everybody else did it. You're a game changer. And so people love that phrase iconic, that word rather, but everybody and everything ain't iconic. But what do you make of the fact that people are still talking about, still watching, still on our lips, the phrase Kid and Play?
Well, the word that comes to mind, and it's a reality to me as far as the experience goes, is surreal.
Mm-hmm.
It was not intentional, as Kid pretty much touched on. So something that was relevant to it. Kid and I believe, have become unintentionally the poster boys for friendship, and a lot of people always come to us individually and collectively and always associate us with a good friend they had at one time, or something that they would do back in the days that we did to remind them of, or someone used to call them the Kid and Play in their neighborhood or whatever. So thanks to Reggie and Warrington Hudlin and others, directors of our music videos and producers of our music, that caught something with us to be able to be at a place that we are today. Like even what I'm doing now, I'm in New York, and I'm talking to you from Dougie Fresh's house because I'm working on his documentary now. I don't take these kind of situations for granted, because it's like being part of Kid and Play or Play myself has brought us to this place of all these things where it's like, wow, we know this person, we hang out with this person, we do this and do that. But again, even with a LeBron James, he loves. We have on the future that is the present today.
Before I forget, first of all, when you got the phone, tell Doug I said what's up. That's the first thing. Tell him I said.
He already told me to tell you the same.
Okay.
Yes, I'll be the conduit for that exchange of pleasantries.
No, that's my boy. So thank you for doing that, and again, giving my regards and my love. Let me come after this though, Kid. I'll start with you first on this. There was so much happening musically at that time, and you guys obviously did the music, you did the film, you did it all. But how did you guys go about, you and Play, we'll get him to sound off on this as well in a moment, how did you guys go out figuring out how to situate yourself in the music biz at that point? I mean, in terms of your sound, your style, and you guys are uniquely different than a lot of stuff that was happening at that time. How did you figure out a way to get in where you fit in, as we like to say?
Right. Well, I think, once again, it evolved out of what was naturally going on. Like two guys that hung out every day, not alike by any means, but I think that was part of the charm. That we were different, but together we were pretty cool. So I think the music evolved out of the subject matter. We weren't going to talk about gangster stuff and nothing like that, because that really wasn't what we were about. We were trying to hang out, we wanted to look good, we were trying to go to the parties, we were trying to talk to girls. We liked to dance. Back then, if you did, dancing was, like in the animal world. Like, you gotta peacock a little bit if you wanna get some attention. That kind of was part of it. And then having the luxury and the good fortune of growing up in the same neighborhood as our eventual producer and manager, Herbie Lovebug, that all kind of came together. So I like to think that we all, the three of us, myself, Play, and Herbie Lovebug, we each had our own superpowers. Herbie was a brilliant musical genius and kind of created the palette that we were kind of thrown on. So, once again, I think it comes back to being yourselves. Yeah. You know what I mean? We couldn't fake the funk and try to be, we out on the corner and we on the block. And if you saw Kid and Play at an ATM, don't worry. We just want change.
and isn't Herbie Lovebug the greatest stage name ever?
Oh, my goodness.
I just love it. Every time I see that, Herbie Lovebug. I love that name. Our guest in this hour, Kid and Play, we'll get back to this conversation with Kid and Play when we come forward. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Be sure to like and follow Tavis Smiley at The Real Tavis Smiley and get Twitter updates at Tavis Smiley. The conversation continues when we come forward.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
Our families have always worked hard to accomplish the dream of home ownership. In this competitive market, Rocket Mortgage can help. A verified approval can give you an edge with sellers. You're a serious buyer. So when it's time to buy that house and make it home, Rocket can. For more information, call 888-900-0409 or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information or personal title report. Call for cross information and conditions. Equalizing lender license in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access.org. Number 33.
Where can you light up the tree and the savings? Lowe's, actually. Find deals on endless festive holiday decor, like 20% off pre-lit artificial trees and endless gifts found only at Lowe's. Like the new Cobalt 257-piece mechanics tool set for $99, valued over $600 if purchased separately. Check back daily for deals during Black Friday month and start saving now at Lowe's. Home to any possibility. Offer valid through 11/16. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This Sunday and every Sunday is the African Marketplace and Drum Circle Community Market. Get get free groceries, essential resources, and buy black from local merchants of arts, beauty, custom black merchandise, and more. Choose from a wide variety of cuisines, custom-made clothing, jewelry, and a lot more. Experience the true essence of Africatown at Leimert Park every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Join the drum circle, dance, enjoy live performances, connect with other conscious black people. Experience black excellence every Sunday in Africatown at Leimert Park. You can find us on Degnan Boulevard near Vernon at Leimert Park. That's the African Marketplace and Drum Circle Community Market. Join us for music, shopping, food, and fun this and every Sunday. Support black businesses, recycle black dollars, and feed your soul. The African Marketplace and Drum Circle Community Market every Sunday in Africatown at Leimert Park. Brought to you by Africatown Enterprise and the African Village Vendors Association.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, y'all, let's get this together, because it ain't going to last forever. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, don't trash my place. Ayo, Herbs. Bass.
You heard her play say, "Yo, Herb." Herbie Lovebug. That's what we were just talking about a moment ago. That's right. Our guest in this hour, our kid in play, Christopher Reed and Christopher Martin. There's a House Party reboot coming out in theaters on January 13th, produced by LeBron James and Maverick Carter. As you heard play suggest earlier in this conversation, this is iconic, man. It has impacted generations. I don't even know if LeBron James was he even born then? Was he a kid then?
Came out in 1990.
1990, yeah. So but it's impacted just generations of young black people all these years later. What do you make of that play? That so many people have been impacted by it. That LeBron James wasn't even around then. He may have been born, but yeah, he's a kid though. He's a kid, yeah.
Yeah, it's surreal because, Kid and I didn't blueprint this out. It wasn't a plan.
Yeah.
The truth be told, I wasn't interested in doing the movie because I was looking at those that we had admired before us, like a Run DMC. A lot of people didn't know that Run DMC did a movie, Tougher Than Leather. And it didn't fare too well in the theaters. So in my mind, trying to be businesslike was like, okay, if Run DMC can't pull off a movie, what makes Kid and Play think they can do it? We were doing so well, greater than well, on the road with our music. So let's not ruin it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Herbie and Kid and I, we had this thing that majority rules. So they outvoted me on doing the film. And I was one of the best outvotes that I ever went through.
Yeah.
But in regards to the fact of it, again, resonating about friendship, resonating about the adventures of two guys and their friends, one of the brilliant things that Reggie Hudlin and Warrington did about that film, nowhere in that film do you hear them mention a city or a place. And they did that on purpose. So that subliminally, anybody who watched it knew, because of how universal the topic was, it could take place anywhere around the world. And instead of calling it Detroit or New York, where it might have been somewhat of a division, they didn't want that to happen. So that was brilliant on their part, and I think that was a huge part of the DNA of where we're at today.
Makes perfect sense. Let me ask, Play. So you were a little reticent about doing this. You get outvoted by Kid and Herbie Lovebug, and I'm glad they did outvote you. But when the movie comes out and it becomes a huge hit, which Run DMC couldn't do, how did you process it on that side of the equation?
You know what? For me, and I think I could speak for Kid, it was like a whirlwind. It was like we were still adjusting to the success of our music careers. So here's this movie that comes in and just turns our world like upside down for the good. And, I heard what Kid said in regards to the image that people had of us being in front of the machine. But prior to that, I was out there in them streets. And God used hip-hop literally to save my life, because my role models were the drug kingpins in the city. That's what, and my father, being what I choose to call the pharmaceutical urban engineer that he was, I was following in those footsteps. I was destined to follow in those footsteps. So for me, just taking this all in, I mean, wow, and to do it with such a great group of friends, Herbie and Kid and I, like Kid said, we weren't put together, we grew up together. So to have these experiences with a whole lot of laughter, a whole lot of what we would learn to be called love, it just was incredible. And it is incredible.
And Play, to Play's point, I mean, I guess you remember, at some point trying to convey, because, he was out there. And I was kind of on the nerdy tip. I mean, not kind of. I was a total nerd. And I'm just kind of looking at it. And we're becoming friendly. I see the potential, but I see he's out there, and I'm just like, this is not sustainable, my friend.
Play, you said something.
Come in, have a sandwich, have some milk. Let me tell you what life should be.
Far be it from me to
Play. I want to come back to something you teed up a moment ago, and get you to just unpack it a bit for me. And I suspected it would come up at some point in the conversation. It didn't take long, and if it didn't, I was going to raise it. But knowing you as I do, I knew it would come out of you because it's. So let me just ask it this way: how have you, over the years, juxtaposed, balanced, navigated your faith journey with your vocation in this business?
Do me and trust the God and the Jesus that's in my heart. I once heard a very famous Christian couple say, when anybody becomes a born again Christian, they should stay locked away for at least the first 3 years before they open their mouth, because you go through this thing of judgmentalness and this, that, and this. But after a while, you come to a point of remembering who you were when you met him, and I speak of Jesus. And you use that to benefit others. So, I don't get around people who curse around me and say, don't curse around me. I don't judge anybody, because there before the grace of God go I. Mm-hmm. And if I stump my toe, you might hear a blurp out of me. So all of that being said, it's just me doing me. And the best way I could put it was when Jesus first met the disciples, he met them as fishermen. After his entanglement and his engagement and relationship with them, they remained fishermen. They just remained fishermen of men and souls. So, that's what's up. So I try to hopefully maintain my coolness. And I'm just a huge advocate for education, because I got kicked out of 5 high schools coming up in New York, and I'm a big advocate for it. So, it has an interesting sense of humor, because I've been involved in the higher learning HBC community for quite some while. Mm-hmm. And right now I'm at Virginia State University as the director of production and artist in residence there, working with them. But Kid really rubbed off on me, because Kid stayed in school, did this thing in school, and that was my unorthodox way of learning what I needed to learn, speaking better, words, carry myself, how to be able to be what I need to be among certain type of men and women at a certain case. So a lot of kudos to God using Kids to educate me in a very unorthodox way.
Once again, after you got kicked out of the 5th school, and once again it was like, this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. We're running out of high schools, Play.
I know. You're on a list right now. You're on a list right now.
You're going to have to go to the school for the deaf in a minute.
So let me ask you, Kid, because one of the things that every time I see a house party, one of the things that jumps out at me is I start looking at the people in that cast. You know where I'm going, man. I start looking at the folk in that cast, and here's how you know that your casting director or your friendships or Herbie Lovebug or somebody, Reginald and Warrington, somebody knew what they were doing, because when you start running down the list of the folk in that cast and see the kind of careers they had after that, start with the two of y'all, but the cast is amazing. How did that come to be?
Well, to your point, brilliant casting.
I mean, just run some of the names, man. You, of course, and Play.
Yeah, of course.
Tisha's in it.
Tisha Campbell.
Martin
Lawrence.
Yeah. AJ. Yeah.
Robin Harris.
Exactly.
John Witherspoon. Mm-hmm. Full Force.
That's right.
And what happened was and the thing about it was a great cast, and it was a cast that pulled for one another. Mm-hmm. For a lot of these people.
Don't forget Barry Diamond. Don't forget
Barry Diamond. I'll forget Barry Diamond, please. I know Barry Diamond.
For those who don't know, he was one of the cops.
He was a racist cop. Yeah. And guess what? He wasn't method acting. Okay, he really liked that. Okay, I know him from the comedy club. Okay,
shots fired.
You know what I'm saying?
Shots fired. Man down.
No, but yeah, and Play can attest to this. We, for a lot of us, it was either our first movie or very early in our careers. So we all kind of bonded, and everybody had fun, and a bow-legged Lou from Full Force is playing jokes on everybody, and Robin Harris is cutting everybody up on lunchtime. You know what I'm saying? So it was beautiful, and we get most of the credit, but I mean it's like being on an all-star team. Yeah, it's not hard to back fourth in that lineup. So to speak.
Of the enduring careers that so many in that cast were able to launch because of that film. I mean, every time I see it, I'm looking at Tisha and Martin. Who knew that years later?
Yeah, he stole my girlfriend. I got beef.
Yeah.
But it's where we come from a generation, or one would hope and think, that it doesn't look well when one person or just one group is doing well and the others aren't. You want everybody to rise. And I take pride in that. And still to this day, Kid and I went on to continue to hopefully be the foundation and the platform for other artists and talents to rise, like Chris Tucker, or a lot of comedians. I can't even really get in them. God bless his soul, A.J. Johnson, the male comedian. So many.
Yeah. Joe Torre, Eddie Griffin.
Great things. Joe, to all of them. It's just a TLC, all of that. Yeah. Queen Latifah at that time.
House Party
all of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Immature. And even Bernie Mac. All of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like that's just a legacy that we hope we can be credited for in regards to. It's not just about us, it's about others, even in our music endeavors, as well.
Speaking of the music stuff, and R.I.P. Bernie Mac, I still miss Bernie Mac. Like it was yesterday, I still miss Bernie Mac. Speaking of music, though, clearly there's music and dance all at the epicenter of the film. And Play, you did a documentary called "And I Danced." Tell me about that doc.
That was a true labor of love. Took 7 years to make. Because that took that long to find everyone that was on my wish list and more. And that was, right now we're in this thing that I love. It's called Give Them Their Flowers, like now. And to just be able to put names to these faces and these looks and these styles and these fashions that people had a crush on when they watch them on Video Music Box or watch them on MTV or BET or whatever. And to hear their stories that could be so encouraging. Like them that didn't have the formal training to ascend to the experiences they had, starting out with the low and no budget music videos that are now considered the classic hip hop music videos, and to go on and dance with Madonna, Prince, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, the list goes on. So that was my way of giving them the best I could with giving them their flowers and finding pretty much everyone I could find and just hearing their stories and give them their flowers.
I kind of looked at it and trust me, I know Play, as he said, it definitely was a labor of love, but it was almost the dance equivalent of Standing in the Shadows of Motown when they talked about all the backup singers and everything.
Right.
And these stories are amazing. These men and women are amazing. So and I think it was Play did a great job of just providing context and this so much part of hip hop. Hip hop has all these different elements, and dance in particular is extremely important.
I'm going to lose Play in 45 seconds, so if you haven't seen this documentary, I want to tell you where to get it right quick, or where to watch it. It's called "And I Danced." It's about dancers, as Play said, from hip hop and R&B music videos from the 80s and 90s. Streamways.com. It's a powerful piece of work, great piece of work. It's on Streamways.com. Check it out there. And, of course, Play is still doing this thing. You can see him on Church Folks on Amazon Prime and his recurring role on Bigger on BET Plus. Play, I know you got to run, and we got to do some sports.
You know what, Tavis, before I go, I got to give you love, man, because you didn't have to say all of that, and you've always been so thorough. You've always shown love to Kid and I. And it's just always, and I'm not just telling you what I think you want to hear. It's just an honor and a blessing to know you. and to continue to know you. So I just thank you for that. On behalf of Kid and myself and Salt and Pepper and all of us out of the Automakers crew, we want to say thank you and kudos and give you your flowers as well. That's what I just want to say out loud.
No, man, I appreciate that. It means a great deal. I only have people on this program who I have some level of respect for, and you and Kid have been there for me for years. I mean, when you're on this side of the microphone or this side of the television camera, when you call folk, they got to show up. And so when they show up, it makes you look good, man.
I want to let you know. I'm still watching the Prince episode.
Wow.
One of the best pieces of television ever.
No, thank you, man. No, Prince, I miss that dude. I miss him like I miss Bernie Mac and a few others. Play again. Give my love to Dougie Fresh. When you get off the phone, we'll talk again soon, man. You stay strong, brother. Appreciate you and love you, man.
He heard you say that right now. He heard you just say, "What's up?"
Put him on the phone right quick. Dougie Fresh, what's up?
What's up, Virgo?
What's up, Virgo? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm very, very good, man. Here with Play, we having a good time. And man, I know you doing good, brother.
We trying, man. We trying to do this Black Talk Radio thing. This station KBLA Talk 1580 that we're on right now. I did a deal for this station about 2 years ago. It's the only black-owned and operated Black Talk radio station. 1580. So this was the station that originally played hip hop.
Yeah, this is K-Day.
This is K-Day. This is the original K-Day, 1580. So it's now black owned and operated, and we're just trying to do the talk thing and provide a platform for black folk to amplify their voices, which is what all of you have done. And the reason why I love artists, I'm late on news and traffic and sports, so bear with me here, but it's Dougie Fresh, so I can't go that fast. Here's what I want to say right quick while you're on the phone, Dougie, is that black artists at their best, have always been allowed to say things that the rest of us couldn't say. When there was no talk radio, when there was no black Twitter, when there was no black blogosphere, it's always been our artists historically who've had the platforms and the microphones and the stages to say the things that the rest of us couldn't say. So when Dougie Fresh comes on and says something, the rest of us can't say that. When Kid and Play say something and put something on the screen like House Party, the rest of us don't have the wherewithal, the resources to do that. And so people know who watch and listen to my work. I love talking to artists more than anybody else because you all are the real poets, and I mean that sincerely. So I love Kid, I love Play, and Dougie, you know I love you, brother.
Yeah, brother, man, the way you broke that down is real, and it's very interesting. That's a whole story in itself in regards to a show, because I remember what you did with Prince. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And me and him from 99 to 2015 to when he transitioned.
Yeah.
But I remember how he was very excited about working with you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And how he felt about you, because your level of integrity and your passion for the artist and for the struggle has always been solid. So I just want you to know, brother, I appreciate you, and we're going to finish this conversation when I do the Tavis line.
All right, man. Trust me, I will call you and we will lock that down, because the hour with Kid and Play today and the hour with Dougie Fresh in the days to come. All right, y'all get some work done there, and thank you for coming on, both of you. Love you guys.
No problem.
All right. Sorry for being. Thank you, man. Sorry for being a little late on news, traffic, and sports. But when Dougie Fresh pops in, what you gonna do? You're listening to KBLA Talk 15
That's
days.
A win-win-win.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where truth prevails. The tricky station is down the dial.
I'm Mike Moore, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies who shot and killed a black man in 2020 won't be charged with a crime. The LA County District Attorney's Office says the deputies acted in self-defense. They shot 29-year-old African-American Dejan Kizzy 16 times. Kizzy was originally wanted for riding his bicycle on the wrong side of the road, then fled on foot. The DA's report says during the struggle with deputies, Kizzy dropped a pistol and was shot while trying to pick it up. The shooting sparked several protests. Now, a history note on this date. In 2000, civil rights leader African-American Hosea Williams died at the age of 74. Williams worked closely with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the civil rights movement. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 News Source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
We have a wind advisory today. Strong gusty winds affecting your drive. Use caution, especially in high-sided vehicles. In Sylmar, we've got an overturned big rig on the 210 eastbound Roxford Street on-ramp. Traffic's jammed from the 5. A wreck in Commerce, 710 southbound past Washington Boulevard. That is clearing. And a minor wreck on the 405 south at Getty Center Drive.
NetSpend All Access, with perks that add up. Banking services provided by and account established by Pathward N.A. Member FDIC. Deposit account opening is subject to registration and ID verification. Terms and costs apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The number one girls high school basketball player in the nation is going to USC. 6'2" guard Juju Watkins of Sierra Canyon High School in Chatsworth signed a national letter of intent to attend USC in the fall of 2023. This young lady can ball. She was the starting guard for the USA basketball 17 and under team when they won 2 gold medals. She's one of only 5 high school basketball players in the country with a name, image, and likeness endorsement deal with Nike. Watkins, who grew up in Watts, is the great-granddaughter of Ted Watkins Sr., the legendary LA civil rights activist in the 60s. The Clippers lose by 2 in Dallas last night, 35 for Dallas forward Luka Doncic. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to your settlement, we're slam dunk. Call 833-MVP-WINS or check their website at themvp.com for a free case review.
When you're the victim of a car accident, hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. Call the pros at MVP. MVP wins for your free consultation.
Call me your MVP. I won't thank you.
KBLA Talk 1580 would like to thank all the businesses that tune in to KBLA at work. We celebrate you, your calls to the station, and your overall support. To show our appreciation, we would like to treat your office to a lunch for 10, brought to you by K. Michelle's Kitchen Catering. Open the KBLA Talk 1580 app or log on to KBLA1580.com to be selected for our Office of the Week. We know you are just like our staff, putting in many smart, hard-working hours per week. We just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you. You and your staff deserve lunch on us. Enter your office to win lunch for 10 and be highlighted on KBLA Talk 1580 as our Office of the Week. Open the KBLA app or log on to KBLA 1580 to enter your office today to become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week. Sponsored by K. Michelle's Kitchen Catering.com. Become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week. This has been a KBLA Talk 1580 community call to action. We're not ratings driven. We're engagement driven. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Check it out.
Oh yeah. Feels good. The time has come to enjoy myself. I've left my problems up on the shelf. The workday's over and I got it made. Like Johnny Kemp said, I just got paid and I'm ready to mingle. Young man single and free, ready to get busy. Down to party, hardy and have a good time. All I need is a partner in crime. Call up the homies and hope they might say they're down to paint down red tonight. Look in the closet and pull out the hype gear. Hook up a high top fade and I'm out of here. To a disco or a party of some kind. Hope that I would find myself a good time. Before I'm through and the night is done, man, I'm gonna have fun. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Just dancing, y'all. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. I've been wrong before. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Just dancing, baby. Ain't gonna hurt nobody.
It's a house party on KBLA Talk 1580.
Man, that guy's voice sounds awesome.
If you must say so yourself.
I think that guy's got a future.
Get that right, Miles. I love that track, man. I love. That's probably my personal favorite track of the
It's Play's favorite Kid and Play track, for sure. And I think it could be mine as well, but I think it's the perfect song that encapsulates what Kid and Play was all about, is all about. You know what I mean? We just, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Hurt nobody, yeah. I love that.
You know what I'm saying? Might hurt that Rudy, but we ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Ain't hurt nobody. I didn't see that one coming, but I love it. I love it. I love it. So tell me, all these years, and by the way, in case you just tuned in, our guest in this our kid in Play. Play just had to dip out. He was here for the first 30 minutes and brought with him at the end of that phone call Dougie Fresh. I mean, what are the chances? I mean, that's why I love doing this, man, and I love having friends. So Kid is in studio. Christopher Reed. Kid is in studio. Christopher Martin is back in New York. He's working on a project at the home of Dougie Fresh. And so he said, Dougie said hello. I said, well, tell Dougie I said hello. And then at the end of the interview, Dougie gets on the phone. And how cool is that? This is a triple play, man.
Somebody love you.
I got Kid, Play, and Dougie Fresh all in one win in one conversation. So I thank Play for coming through. I thank Dougie Fresh for getting on the phone and saying a few words to us. And in the days ahead, we will have a full hour with Dougie Fresh. I got to check him out when he's in LA, and that's what I want to get in studio for now. That's been the hold up, getting him here in studio for now because he's back in New York most of the time. But let me advance our conversation because Kid is still with us for the rest of the hour, and I'm glad.
I'm a local.
Yeah, you are local, and you're here in town. I thank you for being in studio because you didn't have to come in, but I thank you for coming in.
Yeah, I ain't seen you in a minute.
I know. I wanted to see you give you a hug, brother. Thanks for coming by. So let me ask you this: when it seems to me that if you're going to embody a character that people ain't never gonna let you out of for the rest of your life, that you don't mind being stuck inside of. I say this lovingly because if you're Jaleel White, and you're Urkel,
right,
and you can't ever get out of that character for the rest of your life, right. I mean, you're typecast inside of the business, and outside the business, people still know you as Urkel, right, and you can't move beyond that. It's tough. I've seen so many careers, as have you, that just didn't sustain themselves because of that typecasting thing. So, have you been okay your whole life being Kid?
No question about it. I mean, and to your point, knowing Jaleel, as we do, I think he certainly evolved from that. But it
took a while, though.
It took a minute. But I when I see him in the place that he's in right now, I mean, he's just, you know what I'm saying? He can refer back to it lovingly, jokingly, you know what I'm saying? Because he knows who he is. As far as my situation is concerned, I don't think I really had a problem with it because this is actually me. I walked in the door, they said, well, did they make you do your hair like that for house party? I said, nah, I already look like that. I think that's how I got the job. You know what I'm saying? But also too, knowing and thinking toward the future. I'll tell you a quick story. We were getting ready to do the movie Class Act for Warner Brothers, and I'd already had it in my mind. We had already done House Party 1 and 2, so I already had it in my mind that I was going to stop wearing a high top. You know what I mean? I want to get out, a year early instead of a year late. So I informed our management and Warner Brothers that the movie Class Act, I'm not going to be wearing a high top. I was going to go with some twists, some dreads. And Warner Brothers was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? It's like that scene, you know what I'm saying? Whoa. So Warner Brothers was like, we bought the hair. So we had to negotiate back and forth, and Play's caught in the middle, he don't know what to do. So we compromised. So
you cut it halfway down.
No. What we did was, as my character undergoes a transformation in Class Act, I start with the high top.
That's right.
But then when I become the cool guy, we went in the into the twist. But the weird part about that was, I remember we were shooting out a sequence. So some days my hair would be in a high top, and then the other days our hairdresser Stacy, shout out to Stacy Morris, would do it in twist. And I'll never forget the first time after I wore the twist, and I went back up into the high top, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and for the first time, I felt foolish. I felt like, nah, man. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, look, I'm doing the right thing. Transition up out of this. Or you will get stuck with it. And I'll be walking around with a gray high top. We don't want that. We don't want that. So, but like I said, you have to try to do it. You have to be yourself, believe in yourself. Jaleel has certainly done that. Jimmy Walker has not. Okay, so
JJ, Dynamite.
I
saw him on a commercial commercial the other night.
Yes.
For like some Medicaid or Medicaid.
Yeah. And now you say dynamite like a mug.
And like 80 years old, he said dynamite.
I used to run into him on the comedy scene, on the stand-up scene.
Right.
Usually I'd be coming into town, he had just left, and some of these comedy club owners, man, they were just like, this dude is a trip, man. Don't roll up on him and say dynamite.
Yeah.
He'll cut your behind up. But now, look at it now.
You're getting paid
when
for
opportunities start to dwindle,
that's
right. He's like, they gave him a check. He's like, dynamite! Medicaid, dynamite!
Let me go back right quick to the thing about the hair. You said nobody wants a gray high top.
Walk around with a gray high top.
Yeah, I thought about Prince because his name was mentioned earlier by Play and Dougie in this conversation. And Prince used to always say to me, he said, Tavis, don't ever get no tattoos. Now, not that I was going to get tattoos anyway.
Is that your Prince? That's your Prince impression?
No. I wasn't trying to do an impression. He was just like, Tavis, don't get no tattoos. And I'm like, okay, not that I was going to, but since you said don't do it, tell me why are you saying that? He said, you see people get all these people walking around getting all these tattoos. When they get old, your skin's going to be loose. It's going to be hanging. And whatever tattoo you have, it's not going to look like what it looked like when you did it 40 years ago. He said, just wait till all these folk who are putting tats all over their body get old. And I thought about it. I said, okay, Prince, I received that.
Right.
Yeah. So,
do you have any tattoos?
No, I do not.
I got a couple. Yeah. I remember when I got mine.
Yeah.
I was already out the house, and my Jamaican father was like, "What the hell is going on here? You're right on your skin." So I don't have a lot though. I don't think Play has any. I'm not.
Yeah, well, Play and I are simpatico in that regard.
Yeah.
We'll continue with Christopher Kid Reed when we come forward on KBLA.
Tavis, don't ever get a tattoo.
That was good.
Give me that mic. Oh, you want some of this? Yo, it's my turn. Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
We've got a lot to talk about. Good thing we've got 3 hours. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Tweets with racial slurs have soared since Elon Musk took over Twitter. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News. Only a week after the Tesla CEO bought Twitter, reports of the racial epithet used to attack black people was reportedly used 26,000 times, tripling its average this year. And a slur used to target trans people increased by 53%. Instances of offensive terms for homosexual men soared 39% over the yearly average. Examples of offensive terms used to target both Jews and Hispanic people also increased. This all according to research done by the Center for Countering Digital Hate. KBLA listeners, what do you think about Elon Musk, the man who describes himself as taking over Twitter? Let us know by tweeting us at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
East West Players brings you the stage play Brothers Paranormal by Prince Gomovilas, directed by Jeff Liu, November 17th through December 11th. After a nationwide increase in sightings of Asian-looking ghosts, 2 Thai brothers, one from Thailand and one from the American Midwest, struggle to launch a ghost hunting business and are called to the home of an African-American couple displaced from Hurricane Katrina. This suspenseful, humorous, compassionate exploration of the trauma of leaving home, whether crossing the country, the globe, or the other side, is a play for everyone. Get tickets now through December 11th at eastwestplayers.org. eastwestplayers.org.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Interrogating your assumptions and expanding your inventory of ideas. Let's get back to Tavis Smiley on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tavis. He's Kid. House Party Reboot coming out January 13th. Produced by Spring Hill Company. Make that LeBron James and Maverick Carter. They're going to reboot House Party with two young actors named Tosin Cole and Jacob Lattimore. But the originals are Christopher Reed and Christopher Martin, better known as Kid and Play. Play had to dip, but Kid is here for the rest of the hour. And we were talking about your hair and how Warner Brothers lost their mind. When you told them you were going to cut your high top. Mm-hmm. It makes me think, and I want to ask you about this. It wasn't the impact of House Party wasn't just the music and it wasn't just the dance, but the fashion as well. And at our best, that's what black people do. When we put a project out, it's the music, it's the dance, it's the fashion, it's the hair, it's drip, it's all of that. How do you process the impact that House Party had on all of those levels?
Yeah, to your point, I mean, I guess, you take a page out of Deion Sanders. You know what I'm saying? When you look good, you play good. You play good, they pay good. But yeah, that was, that was all about, coming up. It was all about being fresh. Yeah. And Play, that's kind of his field of expertise. He was kind of always our stylist, and he was that was his lane. And I can remember when we were young, we was looking real drippy. Mm-hmm. No money. Not a dollar between us. We was faking it until we was making it. Yeah. So but that element is very, 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 very important. As far as we were concerned, as far as the Kid and Play image. To your point, it was the hair, the dancing, the vibes, the content. Yeah. We never, I don't think, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think the over-under on curses on a Kid and Play record is like 5 over 30 years. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't. But meanwhile, I cuss like a sailor. Yeah.
But what do you make of that though? That you all were in an industry that is, that pushes content out of a certain kind, right? And y'all were cutting against the grain, but still successful.
Yeah, well, once again, it goes back to being ourselves. Yeah. You got to be yourselves, and I think people can tell if you're genuine. Yeah. But to the other side of the equation, we never looked down upon or disregarded the ones that went harder. In '89, we got approached to be on the NWA tour. You know what I mean?
Now, hold on, I gotta laugh for a second. That's just hilarious. Yes. That you would be invited.
Yes. Oh yeah, this is a big thing.
NWA, man.
Yeah, somebody in some office, some white guy was like, Kid and Play and NWA. It just feels right. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, I was against it. Yeah. Play was against House Party. I was against this tour. I was like, yo, what are we going on tour with these dudes? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mistakenly thought they were two different audiences. Yeah. But they were not. Yeah. So we went on this tour, the same tour that they chronicled in the Straight Outta Compton.
Oh yeah. With the Detroit stop on it.
Yeah, with the Detroit stop. Yeah. We had left by then. Okay. We had left by then to go film House Party. Okay. So we were on the first leg of that tour. Right. And they don't show us because it doesn't fit the narrative to show that Kid and Play were also on that tour in '89 in the movie. I was just like, hey, wasn't we on this tour?
So hold that thought. I want to come right back to this though. I want to come back to. I think I hear you teeing up that while you were against it, you turned out to be wrong about that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So now you and Play are even. He was wrong about House Party. Exactly. You were wrong about this. I want to hear the story. Kid is on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here for JP Morgan Chase's where KBLA's very own Lynn Richardson was a keynote speaker. Here's what Lynn had to say when asked what the top 3 tips were for someone beginning their journey to financial freedom.
The first one would definitely absolutely be to write what it is that you want. The things that I wrote when I was broke, down, under the ground, didn't know how I was going to make it, are happening today. And they're actually bigger than I ever thought. The dreams that I had, it didn't seem possible, but I had the wherewithal to write it. Thoughts disentangle themselves when they pass through your fingertips. So when you see what it is that you want, it becomes more real. The second thing is to speak what you seek until you see what you say. Get rid of haters, naysayers, blockers, and crab barrel leg pullers. Don't get mad at them. Just detach and find your crew. And the third thing is to get started and JP Morgan Chase. And get all of those accounts that you need to save, to spend, and to pay your bills.
Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell. You know, the fries covered in bold Mexican spices you dip in a warm nacho cheese sauce. You can also dunk them in nacho cheese sauce or pour the sauce onto a pile of them and create like a nacho fries nachos. The thing is that you eat them with nacho cheese sauce. That's what makes them nacho fries. Otherwise, you're just eating fries and sipping on nacho cheese sauce, and that's the wrong way. Sorry, just really passionate about nacho fries.
Nacho fries are back, only at Taco Bell. For limited time only while supplies last. Contact local store for hours and participation with
Let's unpack a little bit more with Tavis Smiley. The conversation continues right now.
All right, so we all saw Straight Outta Compton. We all know the scene of what happened in Detroit. You all had been on that tour with them. Take the story.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is, like I said, I mistakenly thought there were 2 different audiences,
right?
And that maybe, you know, the gangsters they weren't up to par with us or whatever like that. So I go to we were on a bill with Too Short before the tour even happened.
Right.
So I noticed early in the day that Too Short was going on after us. We were in Little Rock, Arkansas. And, you know, I was a little cocky, little something. And I'm like, man, go Too Short. Go Too Short. Yeah. Why you going on after Kid and Play? So I was like, I bet. So we do a show that night. And damn, we in red form. I'm like, and then bang. Follow that, Mr. Too Short, right? Too Short comes on just by himself. Comes out, 10,000 people in Little Rock, Arkansas. And Too Short says, what's my favorite word? You ever hear 10,000 people say the word bitch at the same time? And I was like, all right. They might be on to a little something. So, but the other cool part about it was this tour was Eazy-E, NWA, Kid and Play, Too Short, the DOC, JJ Fad. I believe DOC was on the tour as well. And man, we didn't know each other. East Coast, West Coast, gangster rap, pop rap. Yeah. Man, we all got along. We started kicking it. And you know, friends to this day. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
and the audience responded to y'all just as they
they did. I thought sometimes you want Ola, sometimes you want F the police. Yeah. You know, I'm just like it just feels right.
That is hilarious. I got 2 minutes left to go. I mentioned when Play was here that he's doing so much stuff. We talked about his documentary and I Danced. We talked about his being on Church Folks on Amazon Prime, his current role on Bigger on BET Plus. He ain't the only one busy. Christopher Reed is still just as busy. And I love this. We're going to trade swag today. You brought me some swag. I got some KBLA swag for you. Tell me about Kid and Blaze. Kid and Blaze.
Right. Well, I'm kind of, you know, I guess I'm going against character. You know, moving out here to California, I became ensconced in the consumption of cannabis. So I just thought it'd be something that I could put together instead of Kid and Play. You know, we call it Kid and Blaze. So you know, I'm learning. It's still in the growing stages. I'm learning a lot about the business and the business of the business. And even though that it's legalized in many places, there's still a lot of rules and regulations. So you know, right now we're kind of readjusting and whatnot. But yeah, I just like the vibe, and I think it gently reminds people of Kid and Play, but also pivoting toward this amazing industry of cannabis and how it heals, and, you know, things of that nature. And living out here, you know, it's quite plentiful. You know, you can walk by the sheriff's station smoking. They can't do nothing. You can't do nothing.
That's it. For those who are watching the live stream, you can see me rocking my Kid and Blaze cap.
Hey, it looks good on
that Kid brought for me. And I'm gonna blaze him up with some KBLA swag.
That's right. Y'all give a quick shout out?
Sure, please.
I got one of my homeboys out there, Dwayne, aka Skillet. He's listening out there. My Brian Anderson.
B.A. That's my boy, B.A.
Yeah, my girlfriend Ida's listening too. So just a big shout out. Y'all see us out in WeHo. You know where we be. We be in those mean cul-de-sacs of West Hollywood.
Yeah, I can say for those who are not in L.A., when he said WeHo, he wasn't mean. WeHo.
No.
He meant West Hollywood.
Yeah, sorry, West Hollywood. I know that didn't come out right.
No, in L.A. we get it, but
yeah, what would we doing?
I don't want you to put me in that we with you. WeHo. Hey, hold up. Oh, I love it. We're out of time. He's Kid, part of Kid and Play, the reboot from LeBron James and Magna Carta.
Can I say one last thing to Tavis?
You can.
Don't ever get a tattoo, Tavis.
His prints is a whole lot better than mine. That's our show for today. Thanks for tuning in. Back tomorrow morning to do it all over again. Lord willing, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. What else can I say? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show just half as much as I did. Yeah. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.